Welcome back to relationship news. Once again, it's coming here. Yeah, I was supposed to make this video actually very long time ago, but I don't know if it was laziness. It wasn't really laziness. I recorded a long time ago, but then I think I was busy posting other videos. And today we're talking about a really sensible topic. So I shouldn't be laughing. I think I should be really. My face should be like this, really frown. Yeah, because it's a serious topic. If you come from the title, today we'll be talking about domestic abuse. Okay, abusive relationships. That's what today's relationship news is about. What actually made me do this episode? Because I recorded, I think, months ago or weeks ago, I don't know. But then I was compelled, I feel like it was necessary to post it after I watched the last episode of the fifth season of The Good Doctor. Yeah, the last episode, let me just say the three last episodes from 15 to 18, if I'm not mistaken here, where the nurse in the series, one of the nurse, okay, is having a tough time with her boyfriend, and then it starts impacting her work. And instead of her boss chasing her, she offers an alternative of her leaving her boyfriend and come to live with her. But then the series ends, the fifth season of the series ends with the nurse being stabbed, the nurse and her boss both being stabbed by the boyfriend in the hospital. He was bloody. Anyway, the sixth season is out. Go and watch it if you're a fan of series like me. Okay, this is not about the series. This is about serious issue of abusive domestic relationship. How to understand and how to go about it. He news, I think, through over the years that was actually abusive. Okay, talking about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian separation, talking about the main Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. We're going to talk about lengthening this episode, and then the death of Nigerian Gospel artist singer Osinachi that happened early this year. I think it was in April or March. I forgot. And yeah, many of them more. We have R. Kelly that was put into jail for thing. But then, what should we understand about abusive relationship? There are many cases, okay? So this video is mainly going to talk about, first we're going to analyze two cases of all the news that happened this year or so far about abusive relationship. And then the second part, we're going to talk about what to do, how to understand abusive relationship, and what to do if you are in an abusive relationship. Tips for you to get out of it, or tips for you to face it, okay? So without any further ado, let's get into it. Relationship news here. If you're here for the first time, it's coming. Subscribe to the channel. We're all about love and how to build healthy relationships. And this episode, this section is mainly for what can we learn from what is happening on the internet. And then today is all about abusive relationships, things that are going on, things in people's life that we do not know about. So getting into the case, share this video to help someone. Help someone. There might be someone next to you, around you, that it's going through tough situation in his or her relationship. You can help by just sharing this video so that he or she can understand what is really happening and how to get out of it. Let's get into it. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was a huge case this year, at the beginning of this year, 2022. I don't know which year you'll be watching this one, but here is 2022 right now, and then things are going crazy on the internet. And this year was particularly crazy when first starting, let's get into a little bit of background. Okay, I'm sure you have heard of this case of the famous pirate of all time, Johnny Depp, and then versus, let's just say it's a fight like the Pirate of the Caribbean versus the Princess of the Sea. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. Bam! Yeah, this was a really serious case, and it was broadcast, I think, all over the internet, YouTube, whatever. A lot of channels were broadcasting the whole issue, the whole thing. And here's the thing: Johnny Depp and Amber Heard met in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, on a movie set, and then getting together, got married 2014, and got divorced in 2016. Yeah, but then in 2018. I think they filed for divorce in 2016, but didn't finalize it at that time. In 2018, Heard, okay, in an open head on the Washington Post, was affirming that she had been abused in her relationship, and then she is here standing representing abused women in the relationship. So even though she didn't mention name Depp, the thing, okay, things started to unfold on Johnny Depp by him losing his role in some movies, especially The Fantastic Beasts. Just a small segment here because I couldn't have imagined, okay, Fantastic Beasts without Johnny Depp. I don't know. In his role of Grindelwald, I felt like he was the best actor. Like, he fits the role perfect. You know that craziness that Johnny Depp had in his movies? Ah, loved it. But then he was, okay, he was dumped from the set of Fantastic Beasts, and then that was one of the major hits. He was tagged as woman beater. 2019, Johnny Depp filed, okay, a defamation suit against Heard, $50 million. That's a lot of money. And then Heard refiled for 100 millions the years that follow. Funny, right? But then, really, I'm not really going to go into detail, but even though Johnny Depp won, because in 2020, a tape cut out of Amber Heard, okay, actually confessing that she abused Johnny Depp, and she was actually confronting him to go out publicly and say that he, Johnny Depp, was actually facing domestic abuse in his relationship. Because here's the thing, a lot of people do not believe that men also can face domestic abuse, and that was the trick. At the end, okay, both of them were accused of abusing each other. But then at the end of the case, Johnny Depp won, okay, getting some money out of it. But that's not the point of this video. But let's just state this first case over there and let's jump to the second case. I'm just only going to talk about two cases here just to show something. So the second case is the death of Nigerian gospel singer artist Osinachi that died in April or March of early this year, where allegations were she was beaten by her husband. Not that was not the direct cause of her death, but that stands as the reason why she ended up in the hospital in the first place, based on allegation from surroundings, family members that were saying that she was repeatedly, regularly beaten by her husband, and then she showed up with bruises but refused to talk about it. And then finally, she died of it. She died, and then her husband was arrested. Analyzing these two cases, the first thing that I want us to understand, not judging all of them, not judging anyone, okay, like we always do in relationship news, is all about what we can learn without judging, okay? So not judging them, not judging either Amber Heard, nor Johnny Depp or Osinachi, her husband, and everything, or everybody that have been facing abusing relationship. The thing is, it can actually happen to anyone. Okay, if you want to analyze all the case, you realize that I put these two cases because we have two different scenarios here. We have Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. Johnny Depp, famous, okay, famous actor, big roles, that big notoriety, known worldwide. He's been abused by a young woman that have dated celebrity, young women that in the first of the world is really attractive, that when you see her outside you won't believe some of the story that came out in this lawsuit against Johnny Depp. A lot of dirty story came out. You realize that people really do not seem what they look like in their inner circle. And here's the thing, everybody can be an abuser or an abusing in a relationship. Abusive relationship can happen to anyone, no matter your status, how rich you are, or where you work, or how much money you have. And the second case, we have a woman that was a Christian, woman of God, who married a man that was portraying the same thing, a man of God and everything. But she was in an abusive relationship. She was known for a song that she sang that touched the world, that was a worship to God, a wonderful praise song that really touched a lot of heart. But she was victim of abusive relationship. It can happen to anyone. Okay, so this is the first thing that I really want us to analyze from this thing. From throughout the craziest story that happened, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter how you were raised or where you're coming from. You can be an abuser in a relationship, you can be abused, or you can be an abuser. Okay, let's get that straight. Now, when you talk about abusive relationship, it's not just about beating, it's not just when it's come to hand on hand that you can say that you are in an abusive relationship. Abuse, as we can see from the first case of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, was more of not only, yes, there were many cases where, you know, there was physical damage on each other's body, but it was also a psychological abuse. Either insulting each other or screaming at each other, saying words that diminish the other person. Those are all psychological abuse. So it's not, don't just think that, or when they say abusive relationship or domestic violence, you have to be physically assaulted before you can say, oh, I've been. No. It can be verbal. It can be, once you feel like your freedom is being blocked by someone in the relationship, you've been abused. So one of the other things also to get in this case is it does not only happen to women. You know, for a long time now, the world or society have laid it as if it's only women that can be victim of domestic violence or abusive relationship. But then many cases that were not actually voiced out by, or were not actually public, as the Johnny Depp trial, many cases have shown that men can also be victim of abusive relationship or domestic abuse. So here's something to consider. It happens to anyone, either you're a man or woman. It doesn't matter who you are. And it has different forms. So how do you know you are in an abusive relationship? What define abusive relationships? Okay, let's get into more helping someone that is actually out there going through the same thing. If you are out there and then you are going through an abusive relationship, or you don't know, you just feel like you've been restrained in your relationship, this is the box you should check. And then if you check all those, well, one of these boxes, you are in an abusive relationship. First of all, you are in a relationship where you've been beaten. Yes, this is the bloody truth, the bloody line. If you are in a relationship and then your partner is react to you physically, okay, you are in an abusive relationship. But let's get this clear, okay? Put some clarity here. Every relationship go through bad times. We fight, we argue about different things that happen, okay? But nobody was said to go in a relationship for him or her to being beaten or physically assaulted by his or her partner. This should be when you are in a relationship where all your arguments end up in fight. By fight, I mean you both physically assaulting each other. The relationship is getting abusive. It's a case of domestic violence. The second point, where you are totally controlled. What is being controlled? Controlled emotionally and psychologically, it means you are restrained. Your partner does not allow you to see your friend. Your partner does not allow you to see your family, or restrain. Your partner, every time you're out, calls you many times asking for proof that you are not cheating on him or her, proof that you didn't do anything bad, calling you all the time to come home. You do not feel free of your going and out in the relationship. You are in an abusive relationship, psychological, emotional abuse. And then financial abuse, the third one, where you are restrained from your spending, where your partner does not only control how much you get, but also how much you spend. Block your money when he or she wants. And it's again a case where your freedom is restrained. You are in a domestic abuse. And then the next point, where you are sexually assaulted or sexual abuse. In sexual abuse is when the other person, the other partner, the abuser gets you into a sexual act without your consent. And it's something that happened repeatedly. You are being sexually abused. You are in an abusive relationship. Last point, which I actually related to all of the others, is when your partner diminish you in front of others, speak harshly to you, do not respect you in front of others, diminish you either emotionally or mentally, psychologically. If you have checked any of those boxes, you are in an abusive relationship. If you do not know it, now you know.